Hey, it's Brian Late back with another Brain Vlog. So, Brian Late, also known as Brainmuffin. This is Brain Vlog Volume 4. And it's a little bit different today. I've decided I'm going to do more vlogs, brain vlogs, and kind of cover some more computing and other mathematical computer science stuff. And we'll get back to some other, we'll do the braincast and we'll actually code and do things like that. So this is an article from codinginfinite.com. This is actually something I'm very interested in knowing, and I've actually bookmarked this a couple months ago, and I'm finally getting to this article because I'm really starting to like .NET Core more and more. I'm trying to get it running on my Linux server, and when I have my spare time, and I like it even in the Windows environment, even in Visual Studio, stuff like that. I just wish Visual Studio for Mac wasn't such a piece of junk. But anyway, so top 10 .NET Core features you need to know. This is the upcoming .NET Core. I think it's version 3, if I remember correctly, where they're finally pulling out the last bit of Windows stuff in it, and ASP.NET is, different. So it's a lightweight cross-platform version of .NET framework, and the awesome thing is developers require the same expertise to work in ASP.NET as .NET Core. With every update, new features are added that developers deploy high-performance and highly scalable web applications. That's the other thing I'm learning. Unfortunately, my Azure account, I had a free, I really want a learning Azure account, but we'll see. It's a little bit too expensive right now. So, are you a web developer or yes? And so I've been doing a lot of web API recently. If you're a game developer and want to work on a learning machine, .NET Core is here for you. Other things I want to cover, yes, all kinds of applications. So performance, actually, I agree with them to say that performance is one of the critical features of any application. Even in web application, servers with huge resources are available, but still you still got to have good things going on. So application performance also depends on how you code your application, but we cannot ignore the framework architecture and performance factor. With the introduction of ASP.NET Core and Kestrel Web Server, which is their self-contained one, it becomes one, and it doesn't like Visual Studio for some reason. So here we have millions of requests per second. Java Servlet, yeah, I can agree with that. This is probably correct. This is why I don't understand why people are on Node. There's all gaga for Node on the server. Its performance is garbage. Go's pretty bad too. Now this might be, you got to take this with a grain of salt because you're going to read a Java article. This is probably backwards. But, I used to run Java for a long, long time, and I really don't like it anymore. Cross-platform and container support. Mac and Linux users waited so long and after .NET Core launch for develop using Mac is okay. On the other hand, containers are eating cloud. .NET Core allows developers to use all these new container technologies, Docker, Kubernetes, I think is how you're supposed to say that. I actually looked that up the other day. I don't really understand what the heck that is. I thought I understood Docker, but I don't know if I really do. Single programming model for MVC and Web API. An MVC 5 controllers inherit from the system controller base to serve other HTTP requests, whereas Web API 2 controllers inherit from system.web.do for creating RESTful. With ASP.NET Core, MVC have merged together. This move is, so I think what you do here too is you put different attributes on what kind of on your methods. But this has made RESTful a little bit easier too. Dependency injection, built-in dependency injection. That's interesting. It's preferred way for logging context. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this. I've been using Inject and stuff like that. And, I actually remember the days when dependency injection was an external thing and you had XML files and stuff like that. I mean, the complexity is going to exist somewhere. Of course, that made it for compile time. You couldn't check things at compile time, which was bad in some ways. I'm really, I don't know. Using it compile time I don't know. It still rubs me the wrong way. It still feels tightly coupled when I do that. So SPA template, ASP.NET Core comes with the latest Angular and React SPA. Ooh, that's cool. I need to get going actually on both of these. I did Angular a long time ago, and I've done very, very limited things with React. Root folder for static files. Oh, that's interesting. So static files, images, okay, with names according to their choices. In ASP.NET, there's a default folder www.root. We do go buck. Tag helpers introduced to create usable. You got to be careful with these, but this is a good way to do some HTML. This is one of the things that drew me to the MVC stuff when we didn't have the ASP.NET stuff. You had tags. You started doing because the old ASP.NET, you had to do all this stuff that was not standard HTML, and it was a pain in the butt. But with some of the other Razor and stuff like that, you could do real HTML, real JavaScript inside your HTMLs, and it wasn't so. I mean, doing JavaScript in ASP.NET, the old ones, was really tough. It was possible, but man, it was a pain. Some top features: output caching, supports output caching, which means applications generate cache for the most common used resource and static files. Next time, that's cool. Action filters are also supported in .NET Core. Filters are used for caching authorization. I still have very mixed feelings about authorization. I got into, I forget, Hack was the guy's, actually it's Hawk. You've Been Hacked was his website. I forget his name, but years ago, he and I got in discussion back and forth about the security model in .NET, and I didn't like that they actually added it in, because then it's very difficult to replace when it's in compiled code. But I think it looks like I lost that argument. Swagger Open API. Swagger is a third-party library. It's also available for ASP.NET Framework. Yep, I've used it. Generate API. It makes easier for API developers expose. Yeah, I really like this. This is a good way, and you can also run things through the website and stuff like that. Different discovery. So conclusions. .NET Core is one of those. So all kinds of. So this is a third-party library. Okay, so it is available for Core now. That's awesome. .NET Framework requires any adopted by the developers in a short time. So and complete framework in the market, and I think it's going to eat Java's lunch. I think Sun has so screwed up Java that it's just not going to recover. Now, the JVM may still be a competitor because of Scala and things like that. C# has got some crap in it that was held over from C++ when they're trying to move that into .NET. But it's been cleaned up a lot. Still with the nullable types, that's still kind of dumb. But Scala really cleans up Java a lot. I know it's functional as opposed to pseudo object oriented or class oriented, but its syntax is much cleaner. And FSharp doesn't quite seem to be doing that with C#. And FSharp's got some weird things like certain file names that have to be last. In your project and crap like that. I actually had a project to suddenly not work on me. I was trying to learn some F#, and it was there. That was the most annoying thing. But I know this is an article about .NET. I'm a bit skeptical about these performance benchmarks. Yeah, I am too. Take it with a grain of salt. But I've worked on Java and Node as well. If they ran Windows, I have no doubt that. That is one thing that I have noticed. Running Java on Windows is still a big, ugly thing. You really need to run it in Linux or Unix. But I like this article. Thank you very much. Sure, I'm going to butcher his name, I'm sure. Shiryari Khan. Shia. I don't know if it's HR or it's Shiryar Khan. Let me know how to pronounce his name, but I like this. And I'm going long for a BrainVlog, but this is really cool. I look forward to utilizing some of these features, and I look forward to doing more .NET Core videos. I've got multiple ideas, and I just gotta get off my lazy butt and get them done. And I think you'll enjoy them, and you'll see really how nerdy I am. All right, thanks for stopping by, thanks for clicking like, and thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you later. See you on the next BrainVlog. Goodbye. Which one? 4. Okay, yeah, it's 4. All right, 3, 2.